Hello, it's Lori Dubose, the Academic Advisor for the Healthcare Administration Program. This video is all about how to register for Spring 2021 classes. Scheduling for Spring 2021 classes is going to open up soon. Those students that have priority registration will be able to register on October 22nd, 2020. And then from there, it's based off of earned hours. Earned hours can be classes that you've already taken, transfer credit, college credit plus. Any college credit classes that you've already earned go into that amount. So students that have 90 or more earned hours will be able to register on October 29th, 2020. Juniors have 60 to 89 earned hours. They'll be able to register on 11/4/2020. Sophomores, which some of you may fall into that category, will be able to register on 11/10/2020. And sophomores, that's students that have 30 to 59 earned hours. And then this is the date that I think most of you will fall into, 11/18/2020. This is freshmen, those students that have 0 to 29 earned hours. Registration does open up at midnight. So for example, on October 21st at 11:59, once it hits midnight on 10/22, students will be able to register. I'm not saying that you have to register at this time, but that is when the window does open. So these are the different dates that students can register for classes. And don't worry, even if you are down here in November 18th to register, eventually you'll keep earning those hours and you'll be able to register sooner. And if you have priority registration, you'll continue to be one of the first populations to be able to register. The next thing that I want to go over with you is the check sheet for the Healthcare Administration Program. These are all of the classes here that you need to complete this degree. It's 120 credit hours, and everything that you see here is needed for the program. So, as you can see, a lot of you probably are taking Composition 1 right now, or maybe you have transfer credit and maybe you're doing the English 2960. But either way, you still need both Comp 1, even if you transferred it in, and English 2960. So just to clarify, if you've transferred it in and you have a passing grade, we're good. And then you also need, for this program, Math 1730, and you will need Math 2600. There's also the orientation class that you're taking with either myself or with Heather Tesler. And you're in that right now. And then I just want to note that the classes that you're taking this fall that started, I believe, August 14th will run through the first week of December. And then you will be on break until we start back up again in January. So you'll have a whole new set of classes to take at that point. So just keep that in mind. And moving on, you need 6 hours of humanities. Humanities are things like art classes, history, philosophy, religion, music, theater, and there's other options also. And I'll show you where you can choose those options here when we look at the degree audit. But just so you know, you need 6 credit hours of humanities. You also need microeconomics, and you will need macroeconomics. You also need introduction to sociology, or if you have credit already for psychology, we can sub that in, so no problem there. And then fundamentals of anatomy and physiology, the lecture and the lab are needed. And in this space here, you need another natural science lecture. And we'll talk about your options when we look at the degree audit in a little bit. And then, like I said, you will need microeconomics, you will need math 2600 Introduction to Statistics, and then you also need one of these math classes, or if you tested right into your math class, you would need another core course, another humanities, social science, or science class, and we can go over that together. Every student is different. Some students test right into the math classes. Some students need to take some refreshing classes. It's okay either way. You still get there, but we'll talk about what you need individually. And then you also need multicultural study classes. One class, a 3-credit class that's a U.S. diversity, and then a 3-credit class that's a non-Western diversity class. These are the healthcare administration classes, and typically I don't want students to take those until the second semester of their sophomore year, because as you can see, some of these say you need to have a junior standing. And a junior standing, you need to be at 60 credit hours. So if you're an incoming student, you're not going to have those kind of credit hours. So that's why I didn't recommend that you take Healthcare 3000 right away. We want you to take that later so that it's fresher, and then you can move right into your other healthcare classes. And then you need all of these support courses throughout here. And the business minor is attached to this degree, and at some point I will have you complete paperwork to declare the minor. It's just a piece of paperwork. The minor is built into this degree, but because the minor isn't in the College of Health and Human Services, we need to have you declare it with the College of Business and Innovation where it's housed. So it's just some simple paperwork that we can take care of. But here are all of those courses that you need, and some of them do have prereqs on them. And what I mean by a prereq or a prerequisite is a prereq means that it's a class that you need to take prior to being able to take another class. So an example down here is accounting. You need this accounting class, BUAD 2040, before you can take BUAD 2050. And then if we move back up, the fundamentals of anatomy and physiology is correct with the fundamentals of anatomy and physiology lab. So that means you need to take them together. You can't split them up. And then we will continue back down. Now, when you get down to the program electives, I said you need everything on this sheet, but you want to make sure that you read over this document carefully, because you don't need to take all of these. You only need to take 9 credit hours. So that would be 3 classes. So you could choose any 3 of these classes that you would like. I do want to let you know that social gerontology hasn't been offered in a long time, so I haven't seen that since I've been here almost 4 years, so I don't see it coming back, but you never know. But for now, it's not on the schedule. The other thing is that some of these aren't offered every semester, so you want to keep that in mind. And the other piece is abnormal psychology has a prerequisite of Psych 1010 that's required before you can take abnormal psychology. And then you need 3 credit hours of general electives, and that can be any college level class that you would like. It just depends what you would like to take. There isn't a wrong class to take. A lot of students will take classes that they're interested in taking, or maybe, for example, they've done their 9 hours of program electives, but they want to take something else from here. Or maybe they want to take another business class, or maybe they've needed to work through the math and they have Math 1200 and Math 1320. We can use one of those maths down in this part, but we can always talk about options too. So this is the check sheet. I think this is a really helpful tool because the degree audit is a helpful tool also, but this has everything right in front of you. So we'll comb through the degree audit here in a moment, but this has it all together, and I think it's a little easier to read than the degree audit. But we'll go over all this together and you can form your own opinion.